Morning. This is Dawn Shireen. This is my podcast, The Delusion is Vast. It's Easter 2025, and I'm in South Dakota. I made it, and it's better, and it's also worse. Like what do they call that? The best of all times and the worst of all times kind of thing. I'm no longer being stalked, and I'm safer. But as with anything, starting a new life is not easy, and I'm definitely experiencing something, and I don't really know what I'm experiencing. Fatigue, overwhelmed, maybe a little bit of loneliness. That seems really weird though, right? Because I was uber lonely in Flagstaff, but it's a different level of lonely here, and I'm going to get through it, there's no doubt. I just want to briefly talk on my Greyhound trip, and then I want to throw it in the garbage and burn it. So yeah, it was a hell ride. 60 hours on a bus, 19 hours of delays, and drivers that should be imprisoned for cruelty. Terminals that were like concentration camps, and just all around terrible experience. Greyhound bus drivers talking about Greyhound and about how much it sucks and how much Flix has basically taken the company and I'm not going to say sold it down the river, but basically doing everything in their power to ensure that Greyhound fails. And they're doing a really good job because Greyhound sucks. I got caught in St. Louis, which, should have been an enjoyable time considering that we were right across the rink from the Blues. And it was not an enjoyable time. The best I can say is that I experienced reverse racism. As a white woman traveling alone, I was a target without a doubt for misbehavior and ludicrous service. They did not want to help me. I got stranded in St. Louis for 12 hours because the driver did take it upon himself to ensure that I didn't die at a stop. And I can't remember where it was, and I don't really care enough to look at the schedule. But it was seedy at best, and it looks like as the Greyhound station was shutting down, it was becoming a homeless encampment area. And I definitely, at the least, would have been robbed, and that's the least that could have happened to me, would have been being robbed. The inside terminal, though, I guess relatively safer from physical harm, was where a lot of emotional damage occurred. And watching them telling me that, there's no food in the restaurant while I'm seeing people carrying out bags and bags of to-go items and other people being served. But, because I was a white woman in St. Louis, I got no service. I didn't get anything. I got yelled at. I couldn't sleep during a 12-hour delay. Anytime that I would close my eyes, they would come and they would poke me and they would tell me that, they could have me arrested for vagrancy. Though I had a ticket, I just didn't have a connection. So, 12 hours, wide awake, hungry, already fatigued, scared to death, didn't really set that leg of the trip off. Remarkably, Sir made it. I don't know how. I think at one point in the trip, he was extremely close to, visiting the other side, and, God, right? God. But he's bouncing back, and, he lets me hold him now, and he lets me give him snuggles and kisses and things that were never happening before. So I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying it is what it is, and it changed both of us. I saw things on the bus I hope to never witness again. I saw people change on the bus that, or maybe they didn't change. Maybe they just reverted back to what they were fleeing from, because nobody on a bus is there for a good reason. That's for sure, I mean, I was there to start a new life, but I was fleeing stalking, right? So I wasn't on the bus for a good reason. I wasn't going to visit grandma. I wasn't going to have a vacation. And let me tell you, by far, I had a couple days of reprieve here, and this is not a vacation. It might be a vacation home, and it might be a very nice home, but this is definitely not a vacation. I firsthand got to learn yesterday how hardcore South Dakotans can be, and different level of everything, good and bad, right? Everybody's been super kind. I can't say that they haven't been kind, but their expectations are through the roof. And believe me, today I'm going to deliver that, and they're not going to have any fucking roofs left, and they're going to watch. Well, you can't watch because you're on my podcast, but mark my words, today they're going to see a different side of me that they didn't know existed, and I may have forgotten existed. And she's coming out of dormancy, and I'm going to blow these motherfuckers so far out of the water that they're not going to even fucking be able to find shore. And that's my goal for today. I went into something blind. I didn't have checklists. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what it was that they expected of me. And yet it seemed like they were disappointed in me for not knowing what I was supposed to be doing without any kind of instructions. So I brought the instructions home with me last night. I brought home all the checklists. I brought home everything. And I looked at them, I studied them the best I could with all the other issues going on with how they want me to set my phone up and how they want me to download this and how they want me to do that and this blah, 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 and all this shit. And some of it's working and some of it's not. And, if that's the way it is, then I'll figure it out. I'll fucking figure it out, But, hold on a second here. Yeah, coffee, my lifeblood right now. But I've been hurt this trip. I started out with a 7-hour delay in Flagstaff where the woman would only stay in the Greyhound terminal if I cleaned up the parking lot and picked up cigarette butts and took down a shed and did this and did that. And I had to get out of Flagstaff. I had no option. When I left the fucking death house, I couldn't turn around and go back because my bus was delayed. I couldn't. Normal things that people could do have not been what I can do. I couldn't do that. So, I sat at Greyhound and I bit the bullet and I did her fucking dirty, shitty work so that I could get out, only to be treated fucking shittier and dirtier by other drivers along the way. But, I made it, right? And I guess that's really all that matters when it comes down to what matters is I made it. I'm alive. I'm still really fatigued, 60 hours on a bus will do it. I have bruising on my butt and all over my body because of the bus, and, definitely not enough water, definitely not enough this, definitely not enough that, but, am I going to ever let anybody see me cry again? You fucking know I'm not. You know I'm not. It's not who I am, and it's not who I plan to be out here. These people don't know what they created yesterday, and that's good. That's fucking good, because if they did know what they created, they should be very, very scared of what they're going to get today. They want somebody to work fucking hard. I'm going to outwork all of them. You think South Dakotans got something on me? They can fuck off, man, because they don't. They got shit on me. I can become a South Dakotan. I can fucking work them under the fucking table, and I'm going to. So other than that, plans are still on. I'm not leaving. I'm not going to let them run me out of here. I'm not going to let them think that I don't have balls, because even though they might be inverted and inside my body, I got the fucking biggest balls of all. And, no, they're never going to see what they saw yesterday. My nerves, I got nerves, but are they going to see that? Nope. All they're going to see is somebody head down fucking blowing them away. And that's the plan for today and tomorrow and the next day. And so let's get into something happier. The place is fucking beautiful. I understand why they have such high expectations. I just think it would have been nice for them to have let me know what the expectations were before I quote unquote failed them. And that again, is me saying that, not them saying that. But I can read people and I get impressions and I know, even though I didn't know what I was doing, and right? I was disappointing them even though I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. So I was disappointing them in my ignorance of not knowing what I was supposed to be fucking doing. That will not be happening again. I'm packing a lunch today because, things are remote out there, as I knew they would be. And I was okay for that, prepared for that and preparing greater now that I actually know what I'm going into. There'll be food being brought today. There's no water out there, so, I figure out where to go pee today and not hold it all day and be uncomfortable. I don't have anything to carry water in, so I have a coffee. I have a coffee container. I dumped the coffee. Well, I didn't dump the coffee out. Oh, fuck no. But I'll be carrying my water around in a Folgers container today because, I don't have time to run around and fucking figure fucking shit out. She had time yesterday to drive me all around and show me where everything was, but did she think that maybe she could stop for a minute so I could actually, do something? No, because that would have blown up her fucking minute-to-minute schedule. So, I figure it out. I'll figure it all out. And, ain't nobody gonna take me down, man. I survived. I did not die in Flagstaff at the hands of this stalker. Am I gonna let some, as she self-professes, princess take me out? You gotta be out of your motherfucking mind. That's never, ever gonna happen. I'm in for the long haul. I actually bought a better tent last night. Spent a group of money on it because once I saw the campground and the resort, I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to go upscale here because if they think that they got something on me because they got money, and then they're again barking up the wrong tree. You want to see? I got money too. I'm not here for the money. I didn't take this job for the money. I took this job because I needed to get the fuck out of Flagstaff and wanted to be honest. I could fucking live here without having a job. Wouldn't that fucking blow their socks off, but I'm gonna do what I said I'm gonna do. So I bought a fucking expensive, nice tent, which, is all I need. Snow, rain, sleet, I don't know, a hurricane or tornado might do some damage to it. But you know what? I can put the tent I brought in the tent I bought and, and double down on that shit. So they're, they don't know what they created yesterday or maybe in a weird way that was part of what the whole thing was all about. They wanted to see if I would buck up and play this game with them. And I don't play games. I win games. So they're gonna, yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. And again, as I mentioned, Sir is doing better. Really thought I was going to lose him after St. Louis. He shut down and wasn't anything. But, he was in a small fucking carrier and he couldn't move around and he couldn't do anything. So I actually have my old tent set up here in the fucking walk-in closet, which is about the size of the trailer I was in. So he doesn't do any damage in here. So he's got his own little situation going on while I'm out there blowing them away today. These motherfuckers got no idea the beast that they awakened in me, and you know what? That's good. That's really, really fucking good. But yeah, he's actually, never could have said this before. He's actually sitting on my lap, listening to me eating a carrot, doing my podcast today. So if nothing else came out of this experience, Sir and I bonded. We got a bond now, and I'm really grateful he made it. And, if anybody could have understood the stress of driving Greyhound with something that could have gotten me thrown off the highway anywhere had they discovered him, there was a level of, dishonesty, sure. Do I promote that? No. I promote telling the truth. But in this case, there was no way I could tell the truth because, But did anybody ask me? No. So, I wasn't ever actually lying. I just wasn't disclosing something that nobody thought they needed to know, right? And I'm not promoting that. I'm not promoting being shady, and I'm not promoting not telling the truth, okay? But in a case like this where Sir was going to die if I left him, and Sir would have died had I told the truth, because let's just say that they discovered him at St. Louis, they probably would have taken him home and eaten him, or they would have suddenly had food, and, I couldn't do that to my family. He's my family. He's my boo, so we got it. There's magpies out there, so I kind of have my crow bros back a little bit. We'll see. They have a beautiful song, and they were all around yesterday, and it kind of helped, right? It kind of helped a little bit to have some sense of familiarity, even though they're not the same as the crows back in Flagstaff, who are gangster crows apparently, but these magpies they're beautiful, and I plan to get some peanuts at some point in time, and hopefully have them drop me a feather or two, because it would just make it more home-ish, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what home is anymore, but I know that it would help to have my crow bros back around me, and I'll let them shit on the tent, double tent, triple tent situation, whatever I got going on out there. I don't care. They're more than willing to mark their territory if it has something to do with me, because that's what family's all about. I mentioned it's Easter, so we already know that there's hidden trauma behind Easter and how I was brought up, and the trauma around Easter. So, but seeing that they're not celebrating it, I fully thought we would have today off. But I was wrong, because we're behind schedule, because I was just such a moron on my first day, not knowing how to do anything. I set everything behind schedule, which now I've had some sleep is so fucking illogical. If anything, I helped them progress, even if I wasn't doing everything 100%. At least things were getting done and progressing forward. So, they can take that and shove it up their golden little asses as well. So, but yeah, so I'm glad Jesus rose. I'm glad he gave me another opportunity to, to do what I'm going to do. To hold on and to prove that he didn't waste his life for me so I could fuck it up. Because that's not the way this is going. Other than that, I don't really know what else to say. I have to get my lunch ready and, 18 minutes. I get my lunch ready and get my stuff together here and get ready to blow them away, which I'm going to do. I love y'all. I thank you so much for listening to the show, following me. There's been another huge boost in the analytics, and I appreciate y'all, really, for sure. This is the last you're ever going to hear the stalking. I close it, unless, of course, I hear back from the DOJ or whatever that, my old landlord isn't doing Fed time and all that. But other than that, I'm not going to keep on trashing my past and bringing it up, because there's no use in that. There's no good comes from that. And it's over, and I made it, and I might have made it to a different level of hell, but at least I'm not having somebody waiting outside my door ready to, slash my throat, throw acid in my face, or do whatever the fuck their nefarious plans were to get rid of me. So I don't think these people have any nefarious plans to kill me. Maybe, but I don't think they do. But whatever. Game on. Game on. This is Dawn Shireen. This is my podcast, The Delusion is Vast. And hey, let's all stay alive, okay? Later.